Alright guys, welcome back to day 2 of the new player play-along guide. We got 2 level 50 units now. Fire Ravi's getting close at level 47, and honestly, I don't really have gear on any character besides our Arbiter Vildred. He is carrying us through the story. If you don't have him, you got a different character off of your Moonlight connections. You always just put all of those pieces of gear on Free Spiriteria, but with all the gear that Smaugit has given us for the anniversary, he is doing quite a bit. I grinded a little bit off stream, but not too much. Did we do Guild Wars, or did I assign Guild Wars? I gotta make sure that's done. Everybody is gonna be missing gear, but it is what it is when you're new. Not every single character is gonna be fully geared. You're just going to do the best you got. And once you have, like, I would say maybe about 10 to 12 characters geared up, you could probably build a more competent defense. If you're a new player and you can't join my guild, you're trying to join a different guild, this gold buff, you need to make sure part of the guild's policy is this gold buff is on 24/7, because once you start hitting the end game, you start using your treasure trove of leaves and energy. You need to be able to cover your guild on like the daily energy like this and the extra gold, because every little bit start adding up. All right, so let's see what we get from our daily summons. That's a thief, okay. I'll take that. We got Apple Boy in the house. So this is Green Violet. He is a counter-attack specialist. He evades, he counter-attacks. He used to be one of like the pillars of the game. Your account used to be not playable if you didn't have him, but over time, I mean, I think it's about 3 years since those days, right? Oh, wow, it really has been about that long. Like 2 to 3 years since he's about that good. But hey, on a new account, you know, you take whatever you can get. And now when you get these gold transmit stones, you can do a pretty cool thing with them. Okay, now that we have silver transmit stones, we're gonna grab that. We can grab 2 galaxy summons, so let's just grab that real quick. Normally, this is where you hope you hit something insane, but if I break it and I don't hit anything, that'll just make this challenge a little bit more interesting, so let's go. That's a 4-star. Nice. Oh, this is actually pretty big. So this is Bunny Dominion. One very distinct strength. She's a support unit that stops extra turns. So you're mostly looking to stop units like Death Dealer Ray and Peyra. She's not like a every game type character, but when she works, she really works. Okay, I'm hoping for an Arrowwell. That's a knight. Ah, okay. No Airwall, but we'll take a Pillis, you know? A level 75 attack set. I'll think about leveling this, but with the Goblomu equipment, I don't think this is very necessary. Let's see what we got here. All right, all I need is a Bologna now. And our PvE is done. Locking that, cool. If you guys aren't already doing it, lock everything as you get them. I'm sure you guys, a lot of you guys are here for this, so let's do this. That's a jackpot, yes sir. 4-star thief. Assassin Coley? This used to be like the first prototypical assassin in the game. She gave herself stealth, hits a single target really hard, and you play her pretty fast and she just does it again and again. Pretty hard to play nowadays just because her base speed isn't quite there, but a few players really like her. Another 4-star? I'm like a 4-star king, by the way. I always pull 4 stars out of these. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, this is a pretty big one. Last piece, Corinne. She's a little bit hard to gear, but her strength is that she kills 2 types of units. She's also an assassin. Very fast base speed, gives herself stealth. She's actually like a straight upgrade to Assassin Coley with 2 distinct strengths. She kills evasion units because she has hit chance up, and also she ignores damage limit on a lot of characters, like Sylvan Sage Vivian. She'll be able to ignore damage mitigation. She's going to need a bit of speed gear, so I probably won't be playing her anytime soon, but when I do end up playing PvP, she'll be a pretty important piece. See? Another 4-star. I can't hit 5 stars to save my life, but hey, 4 stars? I'm not even surprised we're getting these. Challenger Dominion is not as good as Moon Bunny. She used to be in the classification of units that we call bridge units. She's just a unit that works very well with cleave, manages combat readiness push. It's a very important concept to understand if you're ever going to play aggressively in epicseven. Look at that, another 4-star. I really am just the 4-star king, huh? Sinful Angelica. Oh man, there was a point where she was very important. Used to be played both in PvP as well as Wyvern 13 one-shot teams, but I don't think I'll ever be doing a one-shot team with this account. If you are playing it for like the long game, I think she'll be pretty useful, but I don't think she's useful for me. Show me another 4-star? Oh, just kidding. All right. That's a Gunther. He's a veteran mercenary or some shit. I don't know what he does. Multiple things are pointing us towards unrecorded history right now, so that's how you know it's important. unrecorded history is basically going to be your most consistent income of catalysts. Not that that matters because they're giving us so many catalyst selector boxes, but hey, we'll take free stuff, you know? The Molagora challenges, I think are self-explanatory at this point. I feel like I already explained a lot on why the Molagoras are important, so anything that gives Molagoras, do it. It usually doesn't take that much work. So now our RB is more or less done for now. He's level 50, and he has roughly this stat line, which is actually not that bad considering he's not level 60. He's missing awakenings. We don't have any imprints for him. He's mostly being carried by these boots. These boots are kind of crazy. So today we got to clear this out and make sure we're just not capped out on Labyrinth passes. Probably start doing Automaton Tower and Abyss today, just as a way to progress a little bit further, get a little bit more free resources. So once you get all of that basic stuff out of the way, right? You just go on over to the adventurous path. Like, I feel like such a fraud making this guide, guys. I'm just like, all right, so you do this, 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 and this, and then you just come over here and let the game tell you what to do. That's the whole fucking guide. Recruit 3 heroes through connections. This one's actually a little bit challenging. Somebody actually asked about what that means, right? So this is what happens. You go to recruit, you go to connections, and you do everything that you can here. So we got to do 8 more dispatch missions. Oh, hey, we got our Angelica. I think an Angelica is only worth early game now. I think this is where the next knowledge point is, right? Because we've been collecting these Breath of Orbis. You know, we've been trying to upkeep them as well, right? If you're a free-to-play player, this is the most important thing, 333 on max. If you're really trying to save and you're really active, 133 is fine because the left one, this only changes like how much you can keep stored up, right? So if you're super active, it's fine. The next important one is this, the Steel Workshop, because this is where most of your gear will be made. You'll probably be spending the most amount of time here. This is also decently important because this is where your passive resources are coming from. High command, not very much. 111 is enough to give you the 2 best missions, which is these 2. I'm probably never going to touch high command after this. And Alchemist Steeple is mostly a late to end game thing, so you could definitely wait a little bit here. So in priority, I would say the most important one is Heart of Orbis, probably followed by Forest of Souls, which I'm going to cheap out on a little bit, and then Steel Workshop after that. 111 on high command ASAP, and then after that, just do this last. You unlock Hall of Trials. Oh, nice. All right, so when you get to this point in the story, you get this Hall of Trials thing. Don't worry about none of the rankings. That's some super endgame stuff. For early into the game, you just have to know this is the place you get exclusive equipments at. Now we have so many of them in the game, and a huge one is Fate's Gaze, which is the ML5 versions of the exclusive equipment. And because we picked up Arbiter Vildred, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get this ASAP. And now, if you're part of the Spectre Tenebria gang, you are gonna want this one. Pick this one up, you'll find that she's ramping up her power level much harder, much faster. Yeah, like if we are like bottom 1%, we're like top 99% in terms of points. It is what it is. Yeah, even if you're not getting very far in this mode, guys, just make sure you auto it for a little bit, you know, depending on what you want to play, whether it's like Destina, whether you have an Acades, you have an Angelica, or I guess even for my Ray, at least now I can pick something up for them, right? Doesn't Hunt Expert Challenge gives 300 gaze for each new player to get EE? Does it? It's for stage 2. Hunt Expert Challenges. Okay, let's just start with this one. Yeah, we're starting with Wyvern first. Okay, yeah, when you get this, you guys said it's under stage 2. Can I get a peek at stage 2? Hello? I'm clicking on this arrow. The arrow's just here for fun. I can't click it. Okay. This is a really good stopping point for early game players because it is super easy to do. And when you roll good gear from it, enhancing it costs pretty much nothing. The only drawback is it doesn't roll very well because like if I plus 15 it only takes like this on a level 85 gear, you're only gonna get this to like plus 7. And this is already finishing it. So you can build a lot of your early game characters on this, and then once you can be able to afford doing Hunt 13 and stuff, you start farming there, and then you can start tossing some of this gear out. Yeah, you get to run like 10 of these a day. If you're like an old player, this is pretty worthless. If you could do Hunt 13, you're already past this. Outside of the very obvious good set of gear you can get for your Arbiter Vildred, how do you gear some of your other characters? So a lot of it comes from reading their kit and understanding their base stats. A really good example is like Ravi. She's a very basic bruiser, But if you read her passive, it actually says it increases her attack proportionate to her max HP. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. HP is by far the most valuable stat you can build on her. So no matter what you're doing on this character, you're always building as much HP as possible with high crit damage, because all of her attacks are guaranteed to crit. A little bit of attack, and you probably want defense. And when you're thinking about gear sets, you ask yourself, does she benefit from any additional effects? So for her, obviously we want counter attack, but I'm probably not going to be doing Banshee for a while, so let's just go with Destruction set for now. Completing the 4-piece set is much more important. For something like Ray, he's got a couple of traits: high base speed, low base defense and HP, which is not very good, but he's also very important, a Dispel All debuffs character, and he gives immunity to his team, which means he wants a lot of effect resistance. So when you're thinking about gear for him, you're thinking about what substat he wants. So he wants HP, defense, ER, but ER is probably the most important stat, so let's reprioritize that. Pick up a little bit of ER, pick up a little bit of HP and defense, and if you can, let's slide in some speed. If a boss stuns our character turn 1, he can go before the Arbiter Vildred and cleanse him out. In terms of gear sets, right, it'll be great if I can get a speed set, but if I don't, at the end of the day, I don't think I'll be too upset. He'll still be able to do his job. When you're rolling gear, this is like the basic of rolling gear. I'm going to turn on equipment details. This at a glance should tell me what gears are good and what gears are not. And for the moment, I'm only going to roll my Goblomu gear, because if I try to roll even a base level 70 gear, look how much my resources this is going to drain. Right, one of my red charms, 11 of these, one of these. I sure have a lot of them, but I would like to save that for the end game viable level 80 gear. Whereas if you're doing Goblomu gear, look at this. Look at that. It takes +7 amounts of resources to max, so I'm probably gonna max this. Hopefully hit a lot of HP, flat HP, and ER, because this is like your stopgap gear. It's not your permanent gear. So even if I hit free ER, it's better than hitting effectiveness. We hit twice? Whatever. This is still fine on Array. So this is a really important thing to know about gear. Do you have anything better, right? That's always a very important question people don't ask. So we just rolled this, right? We rolled 2 crit damage and everything else like triple rolled into ER. Obviously you don't want that, but we don't have anything better, especially over these level 70 gear. I mean, they're pretty much the same, but like look at how much stats we're going up by, right? Like more defense and more crit damage. Like, we just take that. Getting a unit promoted to 6-star is kind of important early game, ASAP. Following that logic, I'd actually recommend you guys to pick up these from the Festival Eve gift box exchange, or whatever the equivalent is, to get these purple flowers. Because the moment you finish your first 6-star promotion, your second one, and then subsequently your third one, you just get a 7-day login bonus, so it adds even further into the login bonus metagame. Yeah, so do these ASAP. I don't know if there's a 4th one, that'd be kind of crazy, but it gives you so much extra stuff for doing it, so make sure you guys get it. I would actually sort your guys' mailbox like this, because you're gonna be getting a lot of energy, right? And it's all going to be stored. Stored by time left pointing upwards. This way, all the stuff that's about to expire soon comes up closer to the top. One of the nicer QOL things you could do for your account, like for like ever. If you're farming this stage, by the way, guys, pick any stage that has an epic catalyst drop. These are like the hardest to do. So while that autos, just to make sure this doesn't end, when you guys do your auto battles, feel free to like feed the coal a little bit, right? So we can like pick that up. You always buy this daily friendship energy, and if you go to conquest points, you always buy these every single day. This is the most efficient way to play the game. If you feel like min-maxing, if you're just like me, you're trying to have a good time, forget it. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, this is kind of important. Anytime arena's up, you just do arena. Yeah, I feel that, because before this, ooh, look at that, guys. This is why you check secret shop every day. Like that, I'll take that. I wish some of these were ring charms, though. Okay, so let's see what we get, right? What is the gear in here like? Oh, this is the set. Okay, I got it. If this is the set, we'll probably enhance some of these. Dash pass. Okay, we're gonna hold the energy in here, but let's see what we get here. Dude, I really am the 4-star god. If you guys weren't here for yesterday's summons, it was 4 out of 5 4-stars. It's booty shorts Maya. No, I'm just hoping I get like, yeah, no 5 stars for me. Soul Weaver again? The ML Soul Weavers aren't really that. Now I'm gonna mold. I'm now, now I'm gonna mold. You guys know what my biggest nightmare is when I started this? Is when I get stuff that I don't have on my main account. And guess what? This happens to be the only fucking thing I don't have on my... that's my side account now. This is my main account. Send fear of Asura into their body and kiss the homies goodnight. All right, that's our game plan. Yup. What's my team? Auto assign. Good enough. So once you have, you know, your guild set up, are we against strong people today? Oh god, these guys have level 60 units. We are so dead. Look at my dumbass. I don't even know where I am. I have one single level, two level 60 units. Pog. Yeah, we're so dead. So when you have a scenario like this, just pour your attacks onto any 3 towers. Know that when you are feeding somebody wins, you are feeding them mystic medals, which gives them mystic summon currency, which is pretty cool. We're probably never feeding this guy. So all you really have to do is just walk on in with whatever units you have, and if you really want, you could play it out. I know I'm losing for short, so I'm just going to forfeit twice. This is probably going to save me the most amount of time. Like, look at that. He dual attacks me off rip and almost kills me. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm good, right? Your first couple of guild wars, especially your first or second day, it is hella rough. So don't sweat if you're not beating everything. It is all right. When we get later, deeper into the playthrough, I'll start teaching you guys how to win these. Because at the end of the day, all you really want to do is get it done and over with and collect your own mystic medals. And when you have enough level 60 units raised up, you can start winning these. Yeah, so it's all good. I mean, our entire guild is new players. Like, there's quite literally no way we can do this. But outside of GVG, this is a really important thing. Make sure you're donating to your guild every day. That way, your guild captains has enough money to buy the EXP blessing for you, as well as the gold blessing for everybody in the guild. It really, really adds up. I'm serious, guys. So buy that energy as well. If you're an officer in your own guild, and the most common way for players to start farming this medal is through the Mana Drake claws, which is the highest rank of the Wyvern claws. Don't ask me why. Everybody in the game just decided to handshake on this currency as their default. Hey guys, let's just pass this back and forth to start farming guild donation points. It is easily one of the easiest ways to start generating currency so you can start buying resources like, oh wow, we can actually use this to buy epic spirit blooms. Nice. You got catalyst chests, and on top of all of that, you have your weekly Molagoras. That is always the most important one, guys. Don't forget about those. You usually try to hit this blue box by Sunday, and it's super, super, super important because this is one of the most geared, time-gated resources in all of epicseven. This guild was made 2 days ago. We are 1,600 points in. There's like 2 level 70 players in this guild. Everybody else is new. Let me tell you guys about one of the biggest RTA guilds. This is the guild Veritas, guys. They have quite literally the most amount of like legend players in this single guild. This is supposed to be like everybody with a legend frame. E7WC, legend, 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 E7WC. 30 people, like all legend players. They barely hit 15. We barely hit 15, bro. Look at this. Look at this, man. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we could start Automaton Tower. So this is epicseven's roguelike mode. You just clear floors of enemies after floors of enemies. This used to be probably the hardest game mode in the entire game. Yeah, if you don't know what to pick, just pick the highest rarity. Usually they'll have classes attached to them, and you're just powering up your main carry. It's like you play any other roguelike. If you play Slay the Spire, you've played Teamfight Tactics, like, you'd be familiar with stuff like this. 4 days. Do I want to get to Abyss 60 in 4 days? It's probably doable. I guess let's just start running it down first and see how close we can get. Yeah, once you get your team going, your story team should just be able to carry you through everything. Wow. When did the first wall for... Oh my god, bro. The gold you get is even multiplied? Wait, that's so nice. When you get floor 60 in Abyss, thank you for the screenshot, Yui. You get one of these, which will let you unlock a Book of Memories chapter for free, which is going to be essential in unlocking your Tamarine. Okay, cool. So still, everything is giga free. You also unlock level 2 of Automaton Towers. If you can hit 80, you can unlock level 3. All right, cool. We're actually 10 floors off. I'm probably gonna do a few more floors in bed, but you know, ideally you wanna push as far as you can in the story too. But we got to chapter 5 in episode 2, which is good enough. Like, you don't really have to go balls to the walls and push stories. Just make sure you get all the Breath of Orbis along the way. In terms of our units and gear, our Ravi and Ray are now max level. When it comes to level 60 in your units, do your best DPS first. I wish we could do Arbiter Vildred, but he is our connection unit, so we're not actually able to rank him up to 60 just yet. So do your best DPS unit and then one support unit, usually a Soul Weaver. If it's a healer, a cleanser, you know, you got Angelica, you got Destina, that's fine. But when I decided to do it, Ray was the only one that I had, so it's got to be Ray for me. It's going to be a pretty big part of your E7 grind cycle once Wyvern 11 is online, and especially once Wyvern 13 is online. Now, you could take a slightly alternative path to gearing your units, especially now that Goblomu is the thing. Definitely do your 10 a day. If you were lucky enough to hit a Wukong, hit a Vivian, you know, hit a Bernard, and especially if you hit a Bellona, you can definitely just skip hunts completely and put your best Goblomu gear on them and start running it down Rift. That's actually a really nice way to cheat out a lot of gear, because you get to skip a lot of low quality gear and go for the good stuff. Now, in terms of summons, we didn't actually get too many heroes, but we did Luxac a Song of Stars, which is going to be hugely important once we get an Isaria. Bloodstone, which is going to be the default for Bellona. I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. It is 5 a.m. my time. I'm gonna go get some fucking sleep. Thanks, YouTube.